This is Garis, Masculist, MGTOW flyers. That is 2-3 page essays on the themes of masculism and MGTOW. Written by and read aloud by Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. This is flyer number 498, part 2, entitled Masculist arguments are stronger than feminist arguments. Carrying straight on. The feminists want to impose quotas for women so that half of the positions of real power are given to women by law. That is, we are not talking about equal opportunities for women, but equal outcomes. That is, the imposition of quotas. The masculists oppose this, since it will be discriminatory against men who are genetically superior to women in many respects. Men have 10% larger brains than women, thanks to women's hypergamy. In brackets, that is, women have been sexually selecting men for thousands of generations who were taller, bigger, stronger, fiercer, smarter than women. So men are taller, bigger, stronger, fiercer, smarter than women. Men have an average IQ that is 4 points higher than women's, and an IQ variance that is 10% larger than women's, so that men's IQ scores are more spread out over a population, and women's more bunched up, so that the morons and the genii are males. So it is to be expected that women have won a pathetic 1% of science Nobel Prizes. Men have 10 times their testosterone levels in their blood than women, so are much more aggressive, ambitious, dogged, persistent, so have a far higher achievement track record than women. So if there are female quotas imposed by female politicians, then the bottom scoring women who obtain a slot in the power hierarchy will be less capable than the top scoring men who did not obtain a slot in the power hierarchy. This is sexist and discriminates badly against men, so the masculists will resist it with considerable force, since it is so detrimental to men. Masculists agree with the idea of equal opportunities for both sexes, so that one's genetics plays the dominant role in whether one obtains a position of power. Masculists are meritocrats, believing in the idea that the top jobs should go to the top people, that is, with the top abilities, and not be handed out these top jobs simply because some of these people have a vagina. Masculists also argue that imposing female quotas will lower the overall performance level of society if less competent women are in positions of power than more competent men. Society will suffer as a result of that. There's a whopping 0.7 correlation, which is about as high as it gets in social science, between the average IQ of a nation and its standard of living, its GNP. By giving women power slots, even though they are dumber and less ambitious than men, will just lower the overall performance level of the society they live in, which is bad for everyone. Feminists keep harping on the need to remove the patriarchy, that is, the general rule of society by men, with men holding most of the posts of power, influence, prestige, wealth, etc. Masculists claim that the patriarchy is a natural consequence of men's superior genetics, that is, being smarter on average than women, and a lot more aggressive and ambitious, so have a greatly superior performance track record than women. Ironically for the feminists, the masculists can justifiably sneer at the irrationality of the feminist claim that women are as capable as men by pointing out that the very existence of the patriarchy is largely a side effect of women's hypergamy. Women have been sexually selecting men for thousands of generations who were smarter than them and more ambitious and achieving than them. So women are thus indirectly responsible for the creation of the patriarchy. It is a side effect of women's hypergamy, in brackets, the female instinct to mate up, to obtain superior DNA from a superior man relative to her, so that she can have kids who have superior DNA to hers, which is good for the species, so was selected for, and all women have it. The patriarchy is also due to men's GMV, that's greater male variance. That is, men's scores on just about anything that is measurable will be more spread out, more variable, including IQ and ambition, drive, curiosity, etc. So men greatly outperform women across the board. The GMV phenomenon is thought to be derived from the fact that women have 2 X chromosomes in their cells and men only have 1. So the many recessive genes on the single X chromosome in men's cells get expressed, which is not the case in women's cells, since the dominant genes in the X chromosome in a woman's cells switch off the recessive genes in the other X chromosome, resulting in men, over a whole population, having a greater variety of genes that get expressed than women. So the bottom and top extreme scorers will be male. Women cannot get round this, so scientifically minded women will simply have to accept this fact and live with it. Those masculists who are also scientists are in a powerful position to crush feminist isscienate, in brackets, that is, the inability to think scientifically due to ignorance of science, which is the case with women, who prefer, on the whole, to study fluffy crap majors at high school and college, and not the STEM fields and professions, which will allow them to earn good money and to fib up as adults. Masculine scientists actually quite enjoy crushing the awful isscienate of fluffy feminists, which gives these men a sense of schadenfreude, in brackets, that's pleasure in damaging, rather like a little boy enjoying kicking over his sandcastle at the end of a day on the beach when his parents call him to leave the beach with them, close brackets. So much of feminist ideology is rather weak, not well based on science, and instead is based more on female feelings, which is how women tend to behave in general. When feelings clash with facts, that is with science, then masculist scientists who prefer facts over feelings really start expressing their contempt for female feelings, which are so often irrational and based on beliefs that are not backed up by science, by reality. In the next few years, expect masculist scientists to crush fluffy feminist isscienate. These masculist scientists will be merciless with isscienate MFBs. Normally men have to be nice to women, since men want to penis women, and a woman will not allow a man to penis her if she doesn't like him. But masculist scientists have a very low opinion of isscienate MFBs, so have no desire to penis them, so are not constrained to be nice to them, so are free to harangue these MFBs out of the room with expression of masculist hatred and contempt for the many decades-lasting gender crimes that women commit against men. Masculisted men, well armed with conviction that masculist arguments are stronger than feminist arguments, will be in a superior position to crush the arguments of the MFBs, as the number of such monoconscious feminist, biconscious masculist ideological clashes increases into the millions in the coming years. Cheers. Prof. Dr. Hugo de Garis. Email profhugodegaris@yahoo.com. Website profhugodegaris.wordpress.com. Author of the book Masculism, Men's Rebellion Against Being Manslaves to Women, an e-textbook of 490 plus masculist flyers for men's studies courses. Freely downloadable in Microsoft Word format from my website. Ciao.